So, you guys, let's look over what they're doing. Stormy keeps saying she got arrested for harassing communication. And Carlos keep telling the public that Stormy got arrested for harassing communication. But who actually got arrested for harassing communication? That's Martell Hope. Now, they trying to push this narrative that this is the same thing. This says, let's read what it says. And look at the date now. Martell Hope, y'all know who he is. Booking date, January the 9th, 2024. He will book, got right on out of there, right? So where is her booking date? Where is your booking date, Stormy? Like I said, you got I showed my part, y'all, that Nolly process. I was not able to go through with prosecuting this girl because of what I was going through, those personal issues. But where is her mugshot? I don't know what they did to Stormy, but I can only tell you what I did. And I do knew that she was not going to go to jail because I was unwilling to go any farther with the case, you guys. So they dismissed it, they dropped it. Now, if they pick Stormy up without, sometimes there's no communication going on, they went on and picked her up. If they picked her up like she said they did and arrested her, this would be what y'all would get. You would not get, this would be the booking right here. She won't be showing y'all her dressed up like she getting ready to go to the club. That's what she's showing y'all to prove that she was arrested. But everybody else that get arrested, this is what they show. Even Destiny, even Uncle Festus. Now all these people will book and let go. But she said that she will book and they filming it. Oh, they filming it. They filming this girl. And even her buddy told us so while she was in jail, she filming and talking to her. But let me get back to the case. I'm going there. They trying to push this narrative of harassment communication for Martell Hoax, y'all. And it's working because everybody is talking about me instead of Martell, y'all. Instead of the cast to come in there and talk about Martell and Destiny and Uncle Festus arrest, they are talking about me. So let's just look at what he's charged with: domestic violence, third degree harassment communication. Her charge is harassment. Harassment. I want to look at the difference between the two. So Stormy gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna use Stormy own words against her. I'm gonna use her own words against her. Stormy said I got picked up for harassment and domestic violence. But let's just see. Now, the setup is to push harassment communication because who was charged with harassment communication? It was Martell. Look at what she was charged with was harassment. Let's see how they pushing this harassment communication. It's a dig at Melody, you guys. Let's just see what she's saying right here at the table, Danielle. She said, I got a charge for harassment communication. She never say harassment. She never talked about the disorderly conduct. This is a dig at Melody. Now I'm gonna play all the harassment communication, and then it's gonna be followed through with the boss himself, Carlos King, gonna put it to. So let's go. Keep in mind now, the paperwork in front of y'all say showed y'all harassment. She got the same. She know what she was charged with, y'all. Let's hear what she's saying.
And go and swear forth warrant in front of a magistrate judge to get a warrant for my arrest for guess what? Harassment communications.
Y'all see she don't say that disorderly conduct. Y'all, I just proved to y'all about that is disorderly conduct. She won't tell people that her mouth was so nasty to the neighbors complain about her conduct. Okay? Now, y'all stay with me. Stay tuned. So now they're trying to push this narrative. Let's just see what she goes. Now she's gonna. They had to instruct her to probably don't talk about the disorderly conduct. Don't do that now. You can't do that. Let's go see how they push you. Now she's on TV again. Well, listen at this. Listen. They trying to push communication, harassment communication. And harassment.
Love and Marriage, Huntsville. It's 2 warrants for me. 2 warrants for you? Yeah, one for harassment communications and disorderly conduct from when that damn lady came to the warehouse. Just talk the lady?
Say it over.
Disorderly conduct.
Let's say it over. She gonna tell y'all.
Yeah, one for harassment communications and disorderly conduct from when that damn lady came to the warehouse. Just talk the lady? The one who melanated her.
See, she don't not have that same charge. They making a dig at Melody, you guys. They making a dig at Melody. Even Carlos himself now, he doubled down on it. The big boss, he gonna double down on it too and say the same thing. He gonna say, call it the same thing, domestic communication. Now, harassment communication, you guys. I just want to show y'all what's going on, how they taking a dig at Melody. And then Carlos doing this on this woman's birthday or around her birthday week. Let's just see what Carlos say next. Harassment. Y'all see what the charge is? Her charge is harassment and disorderly conduct. But somebody told her to push harassment communication. See, all of this to take the heat off of my tail, y'all. Now, y'all, harassment communication. This is all about Martell because Martell is the only one on that show been charged with harassment communication. You guys, Stormy was not charged with harassment communication. Y'all, they lying to y'all about her charges. Her charge is just harassment and disorderly conduct, y'all. Y'all heard what she said. Let me remind y'all again. But she pushing this harassment communication. For some reason, they want to push this harassment communication on Melody. It's a dig at Melody. Let's hear it again. Stormy is harassment and disorderly conduct. But she's going to push what her boss tell her to say. Harassment communication. Let's go. Let's hit it. Y'all watch her say that she has 2-1 disorderly conduct and harassment.
Love and Marriage, Huntsville. It's 2 warrants for me. 2 warrants for you? Yeah, one for harassment communications and disorderly conduct from when that damn lady came to the warehouse.
Okay, y'all heard that again. I just want to stress that they they left after this oily conduct. Let's just see what the boss is pushing, y'all. They pushing harassment communication to minimize what Martell Hoax went through. And here we go, y'all.
Keep it professional at all times. So we got to get into the continuation of the episode of Huntsville. Speaking of Stormy, it's when Stormy addressed Melody and her fans, right? So to catch you up, Latrice, in case you haven't seen the clip.
I did. But
okay, you saw the clip. Okay. Mm-hmm. So Stormy addresses Melody in regards to her fans, right? She was saying that one of her fans went to her warehouse and started harassing her, and that Stormy, got frustrated, cussed the lady out. The lady then proceeded to go to the cops to get Stormy arrested for harassment and communications, right?
Y'all hear him pushing that? He knows what's on Stormy document. He knows that it was a different charge, y'all. Harassment, communication. This is for Martell, y'all. It's an effort to turn that around about Martell. They do not want that focus on Martell. Carlos, what do Martell have on you? Carlos, why would you uphold such a nasty charge? It has domestic violence on it. It has DV on it.
I want to ask you this, Latrice, before we get into your thoughts on it. I would say this, and I'm going to say this because Marie Monroe and Letitia Pearson said this on Bell Collective. Of all the Bell Collective girls, Latrice, you have the strongest fan base. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So he's going after Latrice, y'all. Latrice has the largest fan base. Latrice don't need this man. Latrice's husband got old money. We're talking about old money that been passed down to through this family. And Latrice, and she's a businesswoman herself, you guys. So she's able to make that stand. She don't have to be like Destiny desperate. She can be bought. Destiny's soul is bought, but he trying to buy Latrice to make her say that harassment communication. He trying to push that. But over there on Bell Collector, you can say she is the Melody Cherie over there on Bell Collector, because they all be coming after her. But let's just get finished listening at what she said. He pushing the harassment communication. He wanted pushed on all his shows. My God, y'all, I would have loved to learn more about Latrice. About, what she do, her business, all her business venture, her and her husband, life, her mother. She's a stepmom, y'all. I would have loved to hear that. Yet, we had this man bought this girl on his show to take a dig at Melody.
Your fans, Latrice, what are they called? The goddesses?
Listen, I don't know. I'm into social media, but I'm not into social media. I clock in when need be.
Okay, so your fans, I'm gonna name your fans. Your fans are called the goddesses because Latrice has an empire called Goddess Wings. Okay, it's a hair brand. Your fans, Latrice, according to Marie and Letitia Pearson, they have said that some of your fans attacked them. And they also have said that your fans on social media run amok, right? Now, granted, none of them have called their businesses or whatever, but you have a large fan base on Bell Collective. If one of your fans decided to go to the Letitia Pearson Enterprises and harass her, what would you do, and would you say to your fan base to stop?
Okay. So we're in on the show now, season 5, episode 2. In this moment, if a fan came to Letitia Pearson's office, I mean, cause I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't care. Like, that's just me because I know the girls have done so much to me. To me, you deserve it. Like the fans see, the fans know. You know, the fans can react the way that they want to react. Like, I can't sit here and tell a person, hey, don't do this, don't do that. Of course, I'm never a violent person. I don't indulge in violence or anything of that nature. But if one of my fans took it upon themselves to go to one of their business, so what? You better know how to fight.
So if y'all look over there at Carlos, that's his expression when he couldn't get her to fold and do how he asked her to do it, and take a dig at Melody and the millimeters, you guys. That is his thing. But he also, they pushing it all across the thing. This woman fans are just messing up the rest of my cast members, right? He trying to mess up Melody Brand. But I'm just trying to go there with something, you guys, to show y'all that he himself not only lying about what me and Stormy went through, but they're lying through their teeth on those charges that this girl, Stormy, was charged with. DB. It would have fell under DB, harassment communication. I'm not no kin to Stormy. I am not a relative of hers. DB, harassment communication, it says I think you gotta be a relative or a husband or ex. That's not me. Hers is harassment. It And then there's another charge, disorderly conduct. I'm just trying to get y'all to see that even them pushing this harassment communication is to memonize what went on with Martell and Melody, those charges. All right, you guys, we're going to keep it moving. Now, let's just see the difference between the two charges: harassment communication. High harassment communication by way of the telephone, the hell of that, or just plain old harassment. So, Carlos is trying to normalize DV in the black community. That's what he's trying to do, to normalize. It ain't no big deal to him. He's always on the sweat of African Americans, black women's back. That's where he gets his money off of. But let's just see, harassment and domestic violence. Domestic violence involves causing physical harm or threats to someone who is a former partner, spouse, or other family member. Now, so they don't have the same charge. Martell charges DV, harassing communication. So they just showed you all what DV is. It involves what? Causing physical harm or threats to someone who is a former partner, a spouse, or other family member. So she don't have no harassment communication coming from me. I'm neither a spouse, a partner, or a family member. Now, let's go with the harassing. She can be charged with harassing, though. Harassing behavior can include repeated phone calls, following them or threatening them or their family members. So that's how he got DV harassment, y'all. So let's just go on now and say, what is different between domestic violence and harassment? One of the main differences is the relationship between the perpetrator and victim. Harassment can be perpetrated by anyone, regardless of their relationship to the victim. So that's all her charge is harassment, y'all. That's her charge. That's her charge is harassment. She's for under two different charges. She does not have a DV harassing communication charge. So let me read this over. One of the differences is the relationship between the perpetrator and the victim. Harassment can be perpetrated by anyone, regardless of their relationship to the victim. That's her charge. Domestic violence, on the other hand, is typically perpetrated by a partner, family member, or household member. They have just described to y'all the two different definitions, right? What is harassing communication? Everyone who, with intent to place another person in reasonable fear for his or her safety, or the safety of the other person, immediate family, by means of an electronic communication device and without consent of the other person for the purpose of imminent causing that other person unwanted physical something, y'all. Is violence and harassment the same? Let's see. Violence and harassment the same, is it? Some jurisdictions include harassment as a form of violence, you all, while others define harassment separately. Harassment can be thought of as any behavior that demeans, embarrasses, humiliated, annoys, alarm, or verbally abuse a person that is known or would be expected to be unwelcome. So that is what happened to me. That defines what happened to me. So let's see what's going on in the workplace with Melody. So now we're going to define violence and harassment in the workplace. It's what Melody tried to get solved while she was on that podcast, but it didn't help. Abusive contact is one of several types of harassment that can contribute to a hostile workplace environment, which in turn fits into the larger legal of something of the workplace discrimination that is unlawful on both federal and state levels. So what she experienced in her workplace, Melody, is it's unlawful, y'all. It's discrimination. So I'm just trying to get some clarity as to what's going on. I already showed y'all that Stormy is accused of harassment. Stormy charge and Martell charge are not the same. Stormy charge and Martell charge are not the same. Harassment, they already defined what that was to you guys. Harassment communication, DV, was defined to y'all that you had to be in relationship to this person or ex, a family member. I am neither one of, and so is Stormy's. Now Stormy got off on a technicality, you guys. Yeah, on the technicality, I no longer pursued the case. That's just it. Now what happened to her afterwards, I don't know. She might have been picked up. If they hadn't communicated nothing that I had dropped the case, she might have been picked up. But they had to let her go because there was nobody to further pursue the case. So what they gonna say? Just say I abandoned the case, so she had to be let go. So they pushing a false narrative. They had to come back, not push her charge, but they push Martell charge, y'all. Harassment communication, but who's the eyes on? The eyes is on Stormy and not Martell. Nolly Pross. Let's just read. I read that to y'all, and then I'm going to end this. Nolly Pross, Latin term that means to be unwilling to pursue, y'all, or would no longer prosecute. It is a legal term used when a prosecutor or plaintiff, which was me, she is the defendant, abandons a lawsuit or persecution. And y'all could read the rest of just telling you what's going on. They pushing Martell harassment communication charge, but the eyes won't be on him. It will be on Stormy. So this is to protect Martell, you guys, and take a dig at Melody. This man is normalizing DV. He's even normalizing harassment. He's even normalized the abuse of women's children and elderly on his show. You have every stereotype there is on his show. You got the dad on there. I'm calling him out my soul. He's the most unfit dad on that show. He just as unfit as Martell, a man that sits up there and act like he literally can't stand his children, his wife, you know what, Letitia, I have to give it to her. She's been a good wife to that man and to them children. She do everything for that man and them children. And I could see that the older son appreciate his mama. That older son is looking back at how his dad treated his mom and he don't like it. He voiced that opinion on the show, y'all. I think he said something like, it's a shame that you treat her like that, or something like that, y'all. And then we look at Uncle Festus and how he perceived his wife and his child and his son. His wife says that she has to do all the rearing. He said, well, I take him to school or something like that, he said, and take him, drop him, and pick him up. We have the worst examples of fatherhood on that show. And then the fatherhood that cheat, the fatherhood that allows his mistress to abuse his children, the father that allows his mistress to terrorize his wife and his ex, along with himself. Abuse, he's normalizing abuse. Melody said, you are funding my abuse. Psychologically, y'all, I read where at the workplace it can be psychological damaging to you to work in such a toxic environment on that workplace. It's a law against that. But as you can see, y'all, when she telling y'all that this girl had harassment communication, they lying. I want y'all to see this for yourself. Look, hers is just harassment. Now, I always explain it to what I say harassment communication falls under DB, where you have to be a relative, a ex, somebody in the household or close to you. Hers is just plain old harassment, unprofessional, where you're calling people names, vulgar names. That's what hers is. Making physical harm. She's citing physical harm and threat, harassment, physical harm and threat that you trying to do to people. So domestic violence involved causing physical harm or threats to someone who is a former